Okay, today we have a review of a figure I'm super excited to go over. I showed this figure off in one of the last few videos, or at least in this state, but yeah, let's just get right into it. So we'll free him from his bubble wrap, him or her. I don't know what I'm going to really want it to be in the collection as far as representing, where it's the only Corythosaurus I have. I don't really have a set idea, but here's what it is. It is the Carnegie Collection Corythosaurus. Oh, I'm so excited to have this figure. And if you haven't seen my videos before, if I get a figure with the tag, I do take the tag off, but I do keep the tags. So, and yeah, this is a figure I've been looking for, and whenever I saw one of this good of condition go up on eBay, I knew I had to get it. I've been wanting to get the Carnegie Collection Corythosaurus for a while, and I considered buying one that was in worse condition for a while, and then one of my favorite sellers actually happened to put this one up. And whenever I saw them put it up, I knew that I needed to get it fast. And let's just get right into it. So my videos usually, the majority of my figure reviews are actually just going over information about the animal itself, and this is really no different. So the dinosaur information. So Corythosaurus is a Lambeosaur and a Hadrosaur, meaning it's a Hadrosaur in a group that includes itself, Parasaurolophus, and Hipparchosaurus. In the other group, Sauropophinae includes hadrosaurs like Edmontosaurus and Gryposaurus. Gryposaurus, I'm still not for sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I've heard some people say Gryposaurus, I've heard some people say Gryposaurus, but I'm not for sure. But Corythosaurus, or the main difference in the hadrosaurs and Lambeosaurinae, including Corythosaurus, is they usually tend to have large crest, while the hadrosaurs and Sauropophinae usually have small crest or no crest at all. And Corythosaurus is believed right now to be closest related to Hipparchosaurus. And Corythosaurus right now is currently estimated to be around 9 meters or 30 feet. And the big distinguishing factor of Corythosaurus compared to other hadrosaurs like Parasaurolophus is its crest. It's got this almost cassowary-like crest where it's just a tall, thin, almost like half circle. And Corythosaurus has two species. I might butcher the names, but it's Cassarius, which is the type species or the first species described, and Intermedius, which was originally called Styracosaurus. Both were discovered in the Dinosaur Park Formation from, I believe, different time periods, but they were both in the Dinosaur Park Formation. And the main difference that I can tell is mainly just the crest size. I believe the type species is the one that has the larger crest, but I could be wrong about that. And in the Dinosaur Park Formation, it would have lived with other dinosaurs, including a bunch of ceratopsians, including, but not just these ones, including Vagaceratops, Chasmosaurus, and Styracosaurus. And that's not it. There's also some other ceratopsians. I know Pentaceratops also happen to live in the Dinosaur Park Formation. And then it also lived with more hadrosaurs like Gryposaurus, Parasaurolophus, and Lambeosaurus. I don't have a Lambeosaurus figure yet, which I'm honestly kind of ashamed of, but I am trying to get a Lambeosaurus figure, so hopefully, and with getting this figure, it's definitely kind of pushed me more to wanting a Lambeosaurus figure, I will say. And it also lived with the theropods, Gorgosaurus, and Daspletosaurus. I also don't have a Daspletosaurus figure, but I'm trying to get a Daspletosaurus figure. One thing that is kind of funny, the two big theropods that lived in this formation, Daspletosaurus and Gorgosaurus, it was for a while thought that how they would niche partition is Daspletosaurus would hunt the slower, bulkier prey like the Ankylosaurs and the ceratopsians, and Gorgosaurus, which happens to be the figure I own, would hunt the smaller and faster moving prey. Also, the hadrosaurs like Corythosaurus, so maybe this would be not maybe, this probably was a predator-prey scene at some point. But like I said, I am trying to get a Gorgosaurus figure, and I'm trying to get a Lambeosaurus figure, so hopefully that'll happen. And now the figure itself. Overall, this is actually a really accurate figure, even for how old it is. It's one of the older Carnegie figures, like one of the original ones. The figure is marked as a 1991 figure on its stomach. So if this figure is from 1991, it's an amazing figure from 1991, I will say. And it's 1/40 scale, like most of the old Carnegie figures. So that's completely fine with me. I'm not the biggest scale, whatever. I do like having some of my dinosaurs in scale, though, just because, your scenes can be a little bit more accurate. But I'm honestly whatever on the scales. But I do actually really like the colors on this figure, which apparently is a hot take, I found out. But I actually really like it. Visually, to me, it's appealing and stands out in a collection, especially with a bunch of dinosaurs being like grays and brown. And also, you have to remember, with these being dinosaurs, we really don't know what the colors could be. Thinking of all the varieties of colors we could see in the animal kingdom today, or all the varieties of colors we see in the animal kingdom today, it's untelling what a dinosaur like Corythosaurus would be. So, and I definitely don't think this is completely implausible. I have seen a little bit of color variation in this figure, and I actually really like the colors on mine, having the really long green stripes and having the really slight blue spots. I really like how mine came. And one thing I kind of knew that this figure was going to come in great condition. This is a seller I bought from multiple times. That Oviraptor lot, the Gorgosaurus and Vagaceratops lot. You all actually happen to see both of those figures today. These two actually got from the same seller. And I also ordered another figure from him, which is, technically two figures, but it's an awesome lot of two figures, or a set. You all will see that in the future, but it is an amazing item, and I'm so glad I was able to get it for the price I did. I put my max bid at almost double what I ended up getting it for, so I was thrilled to get it for what I got it for. And I'll give a little hint. It goes very well with this figure, is my hint. And one thing, I will put a link to those videos that I also got from this seller, and I will put a link to the Gryposaurus video, just because it's another cool hadrosaur that I've done an individual figure review on. So if you all really like the hadrosaur stuff, you might want to see that video. And now I'm going to go over some featured documentaries. This is another section I like to do in my channel, just because I know a bunch of people that like dinosaur figures obviously like watching dinosaur documentaries, but surprisingly, Corythosaurus is actually not in a ton of dinosaur documentaries, which is really weird because it's a really popular dinosaur. Nearly every dinosaur book has a Corythosaurus, but I really couldn't think of any documentaries off the top of my head that have Corythosaurus in it. I believe Corythosaurus is in some of the Jurassic Park movies, though, but obviously that's not a documentary. And I believe it actually is in a recent National Geographic documentary. It's something like mainly about T-Rex, but it has a scene with either Daspletosaurus or Gorgosaurus, where one's chasing a Corythosaurus. But I've only seen like the clip that happens to show Corythosaurus, but I think that's really all Corythosaurus is in it. So really, Corythosaurus hasn't been in a ton of documentaries, which is kind of unfortunate. And it also doesn't have a ton of figures, which is kind of weird because it is a pretty popular dinosaur to most people. And one thing that is kind of funny, out of the Hadrosaurus, Hipparchosaurus, Corythosaurus, out of the Lambeosaurinae, Hadrosaurus, Hipparchosaurus, Corythosaurus, and Lambeosaurus, the only one I had prior to getting this figure in my collection, or a good figure, and by good figure I mean like a safari figure, not like a cheap like dollar store figure, was actually Hipparchosaurus, and it was this little dude, which I'm so glad to have in my collection because this has actually become a really hard figure to get, this, and especially the larger one that I would love to get someday, but definitely glad to have this little guy in my collection. And I will mention, if you all want to see some, if you all want to have, this is the thing I mentioned in some of the last videos, I have a poll up right now on the channel over what figure y'all want to see me get next. And I will say, if you vote for the PNSO one in that, there's a good chance it'll be a hadrosaur closely, well, not super close, but another Lambeosaurinae hadrosaur if you happen to vote for the PNSO figure, which is currently winning, by the way, right now. But the options are some retired Safari Ltd figures, a PNSO figure, or a Beast of the Mesozoic figure. I honestly thought Beast of the Mesozoic was going to run away with the poll, but PNSO is winning right now, which is completely fine with me because I've been wanting to get a PNSO figure for a while as well. And one other thing I really want to mention, this has really nothing to do with this video, and usually on this channel, all I've really talked about is dinosaurs and prehistoric animals, but I do want to mention I am an LSU fan, so I don't know when this video will be coming out this week, but this Saturday, because this video is being recorded on this Sunday, but Saturday, was awesome as an LSU fan. So if you happen to watch college football, you probably know what I mean, but if you don't, just know last Saturday or whatever was amazing for me. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'm out, and we'll definitely have some more cool videos coming. Probably a Beast of the Mesozoic or PNSO figure, hopefully pretty soon. And I know we're going to have some more Jurassic World content on the channel as far as figures. That Prehistoric Planet conclusion, the Nanotyrannus controversial cases. We've got a ton of cool stuff coming on the channel. So if you want to see any of that, I would love it if you subscribe. And I am out. I almost forgot. Well, I did technically forget, but I forgot to do the featured figure section. So if you haven't seen my videos before, I go over each of the figures that were shown at any point in the video. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's just get right. So obviously this is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Corythosaurus. One other thing, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the video or not, but this is one of the last figures in the Carnegie line that I believe that has not got redone yet by the Safari line. Safari has redone most of their figures that have been in the Carnegie line since the Carnegie line got retired almost 7 years ago now. Jeez, that feels like a long time ago, but I mean, that feels like it's not been that long, but that has been a long time now. But yeah, so Safari has actually tackled most of their figures in the Carnegie line already, but they still haven't tackled Corythosaurus, so I would not be shocked at all if we happen to see a Corythosaurus in the next few years from Safari. Then we'll keep on going with the Carnegie figures. So this is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Styracosaurus. This is the Safari Ltd Carnegie Collection Parasaurolophus. These two were from the same lot. I might put a link to that video. Then we have the Safari Ltd regular line Vagaceratops. The regular line Safari Ltd Gorgosaurus. Gorgosaurus, yeah. Then we have the regular line Safari Ltd Gryposaurus. Then the Safari Ltd Baby Pachysaurus, the Safari Ltd Field Museum Edmontosaurus or Anatotitan. I'll put a link to that video so you can see why I say Edmontosaurus / Anatotitan. And then the GeoWorld Jurassic Hunters Chasmosaurus, the only non-Safari figure actually in this video. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I am out.